news and speeds.
Yo, what is up, everyone? It's your boy Drew, checking out that Drew World Order live. Where's my video? There I am. That's right, baby. If you're new here, talk about politics, propaganda, psychology, and philosophy. Go live every Friday night and take long sabbaticals of months at a time in between. But shout out to everyone that's here, if you made it here. The thing I saw today that was going nuts, and I got to chase the algorithm, man, was this was the breaking or the trending thing today. If you haven't seen it, let me just play it real quick.
You can't afford to pay $4.85 a gallon for months, if not years. This is just not sustainable.
Well, what you heard from the president today was a clear articulation of the stakes. This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm.
Sustainable. What do you say to those families who say, listen, we can't...
The liberal world order. Shout out to my wife, Layla, in the chat, and everyone else. Good to see you. So people say, hey, man, we don't want to pay this much for gas for this long, and they say, hey, this is Biden's advisor, Brian Deese, says this is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm. Here's a good comment. Shout out to EBT. What is the liberal world order that Biden is supporting? Can I get a charter, agenda, and 5-year plan? Figure I should know what it is, since apparently it's our future. It involves high gas prices by design. Exactly, right? And this story went viral today. What are we at here? We're at how many views? I don't know. But it's all over all these or the right-wing sites and everything like that. Just blame Russia and get on with it, JT says. Biden's officials' liberal world order comment is one of the biggest reveals in history, says this dude.
What a scary, fast trip from America first to America last. Mm-hmm. That liberal world order phrase used to be something you might hear somebody on infomercials say. InfoWars say. But it's actually said. It was actually said out loud. That one soundbite should be in every commercial for every Republican campaign. You should play that liberal world order blurb to truckers, to parents buying food, to delivery workers, because it's one of the biggest reveals in political history. They're saying, yeah, you know what? The greater good means the greater global good means your suffering doesn't matter. True, it's very Stalinist. People will die, but you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. Of course, you never see the omelet. All you see are the broken eggs. It's a very honest comment. And we're learning that the administration just isn't that into us being America's. So what is the Democratic Party offering to people? You're either woke or you're broke.
So you're getting, if Trump was in, though, man, the gas would be 99 cents, right? He'd be paying you to fill your tank. Beholder says, yeah, you will own nothing and eat bugs. Shout out to Benton, says EBT. Yeah, where's Benton? Shout out to Nightmare Dystopia. So yeah, I made this cover, and I made this actually, it was last night or maybe 2 nights ago before this kind of story broke out. And let me know what you guys think. I put AOC in here too, but I ended up taking her out. Let me see, where is she? I'll put her back in here. I had her back here behind Obama. I don't know. You want AOC in or out? I just didn't want to like look at that horse mouth much longer. So it's up to you guys. I'll leave it in there right now, but it's not on the cover of the YouTube. But then I thought this would be a good cover though for what that story or whatever that was going viral today. And I can chase the algorithm, baby. What's up, highly suspects? Yeah, Vic Meow says people still think these news clips are real. Exactly, right? So what it really is, if you're new here, there's never any new people, but it's called agitprop. It's propaganda just to trigger you, just to trigger the right winger. And when you type this liberal world order, there's like tons of, it's like the number one trending thing or one of the top things today. And you see the stickers everywhere you go for the Biden gas prices. I want to make this, like if there's a way I could make this into a shirt and have it on like some Velcro or something across the front, and then you could just move them around or something. I think that'd be good. And speaking of shirts, go to chalkbodyoutline.com. You can get all my links here. Click the merch tab. Send you to the store. 2 new shirts up there. This is the one. Layla did the drawing here. Little Cheerio spoof, glyphosate. They're killing the bees, man. Made with 100% pesticides. And then the other one that I just made, I ordered this one. I haven't got it in the mail yet. I was hoping it'd be here today. The FJB. I think this would be a big seller here in Florida where I'm at. They hate this guy. Like I might actually print these out, but I want to see how it looks on the one that I ordered, like the prototype one. It should be here soon, hopefully. What is it? The chat says Benton transporting hot females. What's Benton doing? Where is he? Linda Curtis says, I can't remember the name, but a restaurant came out with human flavored fake meat burgers. Well, we're going to get into that tonight. So what I did, man, is I made a little, I went a little Mark Passio on y'all. I went Mark Passio, and I was I've never done this before. Done like, what do you call this thing? A PowerPoint or whatever. And I just wanted, and I didn't finish it because I'm a lazy POS. Like, I was just trying to kind of organize my thoughts and have some bullet points about some of the things that I wanted to talk about. So we'll just kind of go over this tonight and see how this works. And now that I've never done this, so I didn't really know what I was doing. But now that I know, maybe this will be a good thing in the future, so I can kind of stay on track of the things that I want to talk about. EBT says he's in jail for killing and spicing that truckload of illegals. That's funny. What's up, Dave? Good to see you here. Layla says sluggard. We've been laughing about that word all day. I watched some like Bible verse lady reading Bible verses or something, and she was reading verses of the Bible about sluggards. I'm like, man, that's a great word for these lazy creatures that you see out here. And then I went into a video game store with her today just to like look is by the house, and it was full of sluggards. I'm like, man, this is the definition of sluggards. You're gonna hear me saying that word a lot. We'll do the next vocal fry. We'll do on sluggards. How does that sound, Layla? So this is what I kind of want to go over tonight, and we can go over whatever else after this. I gotta get into these Days of Noah 5-hour stream modes, man. Days of Trevor Noah. I can't let him one up me, man. Yeah, so I was kind of trying to get my thoughts together on like DNC takeover, how society was engineered into applauding infanticide. And I did looked more into the DNC, the governing body of the United States Democratic Party. They coordinate strategies to support Democratic Party candidates throughout the country and establish a party brand. So these guys are the people responsible. Like you see the Democrats out there, but then these guys are responsible for all the branding, basically. And they're much better at branding than the right. Even though there is no difference, and we'll get into it tonight. Where'd my chat go? Oh man, I look crazy with this Pidgeotto hair. Pretty crazy. I don't know. I'm gonna take that down in about 5 minutes. Where did my thing go? Sorry. This was a piece I made back in the Marina Abramovich, like spirit cooking and all that was coming out. And I thought this meme was kind of like timely right now with everything going on with the Supreme Court and everything like that. So you see the same thing happening with that agitprop with the one today, the liberal world order versus the same thing going on with all those Supreme Court, rulings that are coming out. That's agitprop for the other side now. So they're both, working. Both sides are getting fired up, and they do want to trigger you guys and divide you guys. Not you guys in the chat, but I should say American society into a civil war, it seems like. Be good for sweeps week. So this is just kind of my thoughts written out here. DNC market stars, excuse me, using NWO psychology. The DNC has many household names included but not limited to Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Maxine Waters, AOC, Beetlejuice, Lori Lightfoot. I would say even Beto O'Rourke. I think he's pretty I think he's more popular than the governor of Texas guy, because I don't even know the governor of Texas guy's name. What is it, Abbott? But I've heard of Beto O'Rourke. And of course, they own all the different medias, the television, even including the alt media. And then they continue to just jam these people out there, even as like gaffes or, no publicity is bad publicity, right? So when Lori Lightfoot comes out and says something dumb, that's all on purpose, just to get them out. It doesn't matter why they're out there, as long as they're out there and you're seeing them and you are familiar with them and you remember them. And it becomes like that parasocial relationship that these people have with like YouTubers and stuff. And the more and more and more you see them, even if they're blundering and stuff, it gets you just used to it. And it's like that DNC thing said right on it. It's about branding. You got to remember these guys. Doesn't matter if you remember they're bad or whatever, as long as you remember who they are. You've seen them. Gavin Newsom, yeah, that's another one. I can't believe I forgot that one. Let me add that in there. That was Linda Curtis. I'll add that in there. Gavin Newsom. That's a good one. Where am I? And then all these people here. I wrote, at the top of that hierarchy, there's King Obama. Barack Obama is what I call the psychic lightning rod, attached as the ruling force over the progressive ideology. Joe Biden is seen by the right as a puppet president with Barack Obama behind the scenes pulling the strings. And that's why I made this cover. That was what I first thing I did was like, I was like, because everyone says this guy looks like Biden. I was like, oh, I'll just slap Obama's face on that on that Jeff Dunham dude or whatever. Because that's what these people think, basically. In the minds of the right, this is effectively Barack Obama's third term right now, meaning Joe Biden's presidency. They're seeing this as Barack Obama's third term. Any future presidencies by Biden or Harris would be considered another Obama term. Hillary, they seem like they have some kind of storyline where there's like a little riff kind of behind her and between her and Obama a little bit. So even though the same agendas and everything would be pushed, I feel like they do have that storyline out there, like Obama and Hillary kind of have a slight difference or something. Oops, dang it, I ruined it. I wrote, the left has their own Trump card to bring out when the time calls for it. A woman of color with the Obama brand name on the ballot once again. The voting base would get everything they want at once. So not that the voting is real, but they do want to like fire these people up, create arguments at your work, and they want to at least make it seem plausible. Let's say they the next one, it's going to be Trump. And if for some reason Biden can't run again, then they could pull out Michelle Obama, also known as Wayne Brady. But it's just to, rile them up and make you think like, hey, this person has a legitimate chance to beat Trump, because they know Trump does have genuine, grassroots support, even though it's misguided and everything. It's like all farmers all throughout the country, and they like a real estate magnate from New York. And I blew it here, but man, I don't know how to do this. Can I just use the scroll wheel? There it goes. That's their left's Trump card, in my opinion, is Michelle Obama. I feel like that. I thought for sure they'd run her this last time with Joe Biden, but he must have had a few miles left on him. They wanted to get him out there one more time. But then this one here is still young enough where she's got enough life left, and I do think there is stories where they're talking about getting ready to run Michelle Obama. I was gonna include that link and I forgot. Yeah, there's a few rumblings here. As I can't talk right now. February 27th, 2022, February 3rd, 2022. So early in the year they were talking about, right here, Democrats break glass in case of emergency candidate. And I absolutely believe you will see them. And I thought this last one, the ticket would be Trump versus Obama. I feel like they want that headline in the news. And maybe they'll do it on the next one, though. Michael Jack Burton says, Edward the Christian says, Drew, have you checked out RKX channel? No, I haven't. I forgot. Michelle and Oprah. Oh, please, no. That could be a future cover, maybe. You might see me use this one again. I had to blur her face to match the rest of the Yeti. Of my own personal opinion, the Uniparty portrays overt, immediate, progressive, ideological takeover representatives like those already discussed, the left, the people we talked about, Gavin Newsom, Lori Lightfoot, all those people. Those people represent like they want to come in and change everything now or in the next very short term, 5 years or something like that. On the other side of the spectrum, the so-called right, the actors are controlled opposition, still bringing society on the same journey, albeit in a more tempered manner and at a slower speed. So it seems like they want to, no matter what, they have a plan where they want to bring you. And they get you hyped up, or like the left, the voter base, hyped up behind the people that want to bring it right away, and then the other side is like people that want to also get you there, but slower. And here's a perfect example.
Allow due process so that no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession
Or
of that
might
individual.
take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms, they saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
We just think.
So the same people that love that guy and think that the Democrats are trying to grab your guns, they'll just ignore this, and they won't. I've asked several of these people on these online forums or chats or whatever, like, what to explain this away, and basically they just say, oh, he's just playing politics and he's got to say what he's got to say. He would never do it. No, he literally said he's going to take your guns first. Another thing we see now going on, it seems like, is the battle plan of the enemy. The MO seems to be the last couple presidencies. So when Trump was in, you had him here saying things like this. He still calls himself the father of the V word. He took your V card. And when he was in office, there was lockdowns and everything like that happened, and the V rolled out and everything like that. So those people would have never accepted that under Hillary. They would have, trust me, they would have just griped about it a lot more. And they would have never physically done anything about it. But now the same thing you see, you have the left leader in there, Joe Biden, and you have all these like Supreme Court rulings coming out, Roe versus Wade, and the guns and the freedom to pray or whatever that other one was, and the last one was the environmental ruling and everything like that. So now when the left person is in, now all these right-leaning things start happening, what would be considered right-wing. So that seems like another way to placate the masses, is you have, as long as they think their guy's in, even if the game's going in the opposite direction, they don't really think that way, because they think, well, my guy's in there now and he's going to take care of it. That's what it seems like to me anyway. And I'd like to point out the lack of the household names on the right. As I showed on the left, you have those people getting jammed out there all the time, so you remember their face and remember their name. It doesn't matter if you like them. I wrote here, outside of Trump, the only other household names that conservatives can present are as follows: Ron DeSantis, Ted Cruz, and am I missing any? I would say maybe the governor of Texas. I really don't even know his name. I think his name is Abbott. Is that right? I can't even really think of like a person that you see regularly on the news, like that would be able to do something. They have like one guy, what's his name? Ben Carson. He's not really into politics, though they had him in the HUD housing position and everything. I'm talking about like active politicians. I wrote the only other right-wing notables are more of the circus variety, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, or whatever her name is. Michael A. says, you missed Ben Shapiro. See, he's not really a politician, though. He is like an influencer. Joe Rogan, same thing. Matt Walsh, I don't know who that is, but those other ones you mentioned, I'm talking about people that are actively like in government right now and can affect some kind of change. If you were to believe that this stuff is real, I'm saying. Marjorie Taylor Greene, that's that like QAnon lady. And then the Lauren Boebert, whatever her name is. right here. The Republican firebrand, they call her. It's like the modern day Sarah Palin, the right-wing version of like AOC. They just found like a face that, the right wing is going to love her and think she's, attractive, and they believe in what she stands for and everything. And the left's going to hate her. It says she did gain attention for expressing some interest in QAnon, but has since disavowed belief in the baseless conspiracy theory. I like how they always have to throw that word in there, baseless. Boebert, 33. That's when this article was written, though. So that was about 2 years ago. She was the owner of a restaurant in Rifle, Colorado. So she's all about your guns. And she owns a restaurant in Rifle, Colorado, where the waitresses openly carry handguns, and gained attention for expressing some interest in QAnon, but has since disavowed. So this is one you kind of see out there. But as far as like, she's not really presented as somebody that's out there trying to affect change like AOC is presented. This one's more of kind of like a gag almost. And I don't know what she'd be able to do. What is she? She's just in the house. She was a hooker, EBT said. Go in and say, nice guns. Where's my thing? Hold on. It's kind of nice to have this. Like, because I always get so, like, off track with the links in the chat and everything like that. But I don't, if there's any other right-wing conservatives that are kind of like household names that people would know of that are actually politicians, let me know in the chat, because I couldn't think of any, really. The progressive ideology has been refined and spread through the public school system. The left wing does not see politics as a spectator sport like the right does. They have diehard foot soldiers that commit their life and career to taking control of the school, and therefore they are programmers of your children 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. What is it, a 10,000 hour plus program, K through 12. They say it takes 10,000 hours to become a master at something. Did I do it right? The 10,000 hour theory is it takes 10,000 hours of practice to become an expert. It seems to be most frequently applied to the field of sports and music. It's not just that, though. It's anything. Learning. It could be really anything. And with that, I did have this link that I talked about a little. I was live last week. Yeah, Rand Paul. There you go. That's a somewhat bigger name that's out there that I did miss. Rand Paul, said Eric. But I did go live last week. I ended up deleting it because I had so many like technical difficulties, and then I downloaded the video. I was gonna like chop it up and put it back up, and then the download was all messed up. It was in like 144K or something like that. It was awful. So I wish I didn't. I should have just made it private instead of deleting it. But anyway, that's kind of what I talked about in that stream. One of the things I talked about was, oh, it worked. Mircea just subscribed. I got subscriber pop-ups. I got all kinds of stuff, man. I'm a real boy streamer now. So shout out to Mircea for the subscription. But last week, what I talked about is how on the left, it's all about being active. That's why they are allies of LGBT and everything. It's not enough for you to just be apathetic to it. You have to actively be engaged and involved with it, or you're just like a bigot or something like that. And on the right, it's not like that at all. It's just They just want to gripe on social media. And I put this link in as an example of how active these people are getting involved in these, political type issues, and especially, and being around your children is so. What happened here is, this was like a while ago, but I just thought it was not even the story, just this lady's own words I thought was very interesting. Is like some kids were doing it in school and they like airdropped a video of it to other classmates in a middle school. So that's CP, right? You'd think they'd be in it.
Careful with technology, with cell phone.
But then this lady they interviewed about it, I thought this was super telling.
While the topic might be uncomfortable, Theresa Rulin, president of the Child Guidance Center, says parents should instead approach it with confidence.
That idea that we're in this as a partner and it's not a hierarchy, I'm here to protect you, but we're partners on this, makes it a whole lot easier.
Action.
No. So what she says, what's her title again? Let me hear her title.
Instead approach the Child Guidance Center. While the topic might be uncomfortable, Theresa Rulin, president of the Child Guidance Center, said...
President of the Child Guidance Center. So your school calls you, your kid's school, and says, hey, they're airdropping sex tapes to each other here at this middle school. And you think, man, what do? I don't know what to do. This is the president of some company or organization that's supposed to help you. She says, listen to this again. It's unbelievable.
Says parents should instead approach it with confidence.
That idea that we're in this as a partner and it's not a hierarchy, I'm here to protect you.
You are a partner with your child. This is not a hierarchy with your child. This is what these people believe. This person, look at her. She's pretty old. She's been working with children and in schools probably her whole life to reach that level of president of that organization. No, bad choice of words? No, I don't think so. An airdrop for you boomers, if you don't know what that is. It's if you have an iPhone, it's like kind of like Bluetooth or something. You can just send it to another iPhone. If they have AirDrop on, you can send like a MP3 or whatever. Well, apparently you can send whatever you want, So they were sending this, like kids doing it in the school and then like sharing the video of it at this school. And this lady says, hey, tell your kids you're a partner with your kid. It's not a hierarchy. We're here to help you. No, it is a hierarchy. The kid is under your rule. I think this is my point here is basically these are the people that get involved in the school system and they spend their whole life as, foot soldiers to these agendas. And on the right, you don't really see that. Wait, what's going on? You guys are always going in on Matt. What's going on? You guys, what did I miss? Oh, he caught the thing from the cats, Jack Burns. Oh, man. Yeah, I didn't see that. Oh, where's my thing here? So, yeah, basically my point there is your kids are around people like that all day for 10,000 hours. Maybe not her exactly, but then when something like that happens and they send you or your family or your kid for like advice and what to do or to an expert, that's the advice that they're getting. Beholder says, children are under the subjugation of adults. The same is true for all animals in nature. Exactly. But no, they want you to believe, hey, we're equals with you here. And that's why I believe, I didn't really write that in here, but I believe that they're going towards a future of young leaders. Younger leaders, you'll see people like David Hogg and Greta and everything. And you might even see Biden be the scapegoat, caught left holding the bag, the old white man, when everything goes down. And even though he's their guy now, eventually it'll just be like, he was too old, he was too white, we have to get young blood in there or something. I think you'll see leaders get younger and younger. Like even that Lauren Boebert or whatever, she was 33 when she was getting in there. Okay, and then I said there's also no resistance from the right. Right-wing groups, such as the Young Republicans, show no signs of resistance. I don't know any other right-wing groups. That's why I wrote that in there. I'm sure there's more, but a nationwide campaign of 30,000 young male teachers entering the public school system would be a good start. Young men helping to give father figure guidance to school-aged children would be one possible solution. However, it would have to persist for many generations and seek to grow. So I don't really see any solutions coming from the right. I see griping. I don't see them saying, hey, something like this. It doesn't necessarily have to be this, but some kind of a plan. Like, hey, we got all these young kids. They're going to go into school and counteract the values that are being taught to our kids. And they're going to dedicate their career to this. And I just don't see it. Or anything of that sort to counteract it. Okay, and then I'm going to go into it again. Here is everything is they do or they preach and try to push upon you is things that are against your own humanity. So most all these things that are deemed socialist or progressive ideology are things that go against basic human nature. There is no more human act than having sex to procreate. An intact family is the natural order of the human being. If this is natural and godlike, then everything against this is therefore satanic. And I was going to bring up like a link here of like benefits of the nuclear family. It was so funny though when I typed that in. It's like it's always like advantages and disadvantages, and then when you read like the disadvantages, it's like, higher childcare if both parents have to work, or it's just like really weak disadvantages. When I was reading them, better conditioning of women, it says. Yeah, you're gonna have more financial security and everything like that. No, they say it's an economic disadvantage. I 100% disagree. You're going to have more financial stability. I want to see what this says for a disadvantage. The property of the family is divided among the brothers and each lives separately. Wait, what? I don't even understand what that means. And see, insecurity of the children. In a nuclear family, both husband and wife adopt professions outside of the children. Then the children are neglected and looked after by the servants. No. The mom stays home, usually. Right? I just thought it was funny. They had really weak disadvantages. They're AR. They're not real. Matt's story didn't add out, Bass Ackworth said. Well, if the thing's not real, then how could you get it? It's not possible. Layla says, people seem to forget that kids are a natural consequence of sex. And to avoid that, you have to do cruel, unnatural to the body to avoid having kids. We've been raised in an entire system of fakery. Everything's fake. You got fake food, fast food, boxed food, processed food. You look at the people look up pictures of like beaches in the 70s versus today, and that's only 50 years. That's not that long. It's like 3-4 generations. And the human being has been completely changed. And you have fake shared experiences through TVs, movies, and the internet. There's every person, these people, they talk in movieisms and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, yeah, it was like this dude in this movie. It was like Neo in the Matrix, man, because it's like people have been broken so far apart and there's no more common ground anymore of genuine human interaction that these people have to like live vicariously through these movies or internet's memes and all this stuff too. And again, another thing against, your basic human needs and true human experience. You got fake medical procedures. And I'm not talking about the one you think I'm talking about like circumcision. There's other ones too that you can't even talk about on YouTube. But I mean, think about circumcision, how crazy that is that they have chopping a baby's wiener up the moment it's born. And it's considered normal. And if you don't, they're like looking at you weird. Like, wait, you didn't mutilate your child's genitals? What? And then another thing I wrote here is an entire fake lifestyle, which was what that other one was talking about, blaming the nuclear family on it. I would say it's not the nuclear family that does this. In my experience, is when you go to your career all day and drop your kids off at daycare. That's something, in my opinion, that's going to be more in a, split family or whatever. Nuclear family allows one of the parents to stay home with the kids. The other one makes enough. Yeah, Margie says they're putting soy protein and high fructose corn syrup in everything. Yeah, man, everything in the food is like completely fake. I wanted to write fake air, but, I really don't have a basis to do that. But all of the chemtrails, everything else that's out there, man, it's like even the air you breathe, I think, is being tampered with. Water, everything like that. They push pharmaceutical drugs on you like it's completely normal, like for like very minor issues that could be corrected by diet or exercise, things that you should be doing so you don't become a sluggard. They push a pharmaceutical drug on you, and then that gives you a side effect, and you get another one to get that side effect off, And now these people have been on these pharmaceuticals for 40 years. They're nuts. It's definitely changed their being, for sure. It's not a normal thing to be popping a pill every single day, for 40 years. And other things that kind of ran out of, there's a lot more if I could think of it. I was running out of time here, but I put out, so it's like socially acceptable for not just pharmaceutical drugs, marijuana type so-called light drugs, and socially acceptable drinking and stuff like that. It's just like, and it has been for a long time, ever since past prohibition. The stories that I hear of in the like 50s, the quote unquote America's great times and everything, it was like you were getting just drinking at work. People were going to factory jobs, drinking, and then all the guys would take off early on Friday or whatever and go to the bar and drink. And my grandfather was part of that culture. He was in World War II, and then he came home, and whatever he did, he was just, I didn't know him. He died when I was really young, but he was just like a really bad drunk. So he would always come home drunk and beat my grandma. And he drank so much, he drank himself to death at, there was a bar literally like 4 houses down the street on the corner that he would go to. He'd walk to the bar and walk home. And he drank at the bar and died on the walk home. Couldn't even make it 4 houses home. Just died right in the street. That's like how much he drank. And that, especially even back then, it was probably more normal for that type of lifestyle. Beating the wife and everything. That was kind of a thing back then. It was just promoted. But all this is by design. The society has been engineered into accepting all this stuff. Well, and I didn't put a title here, but this goes with what I always like to say is if you replace the words, the libs of TikTok, that Twitter, instead of calling it libs of TikTok, call it soldiers of Satan, and replace the fat, blue-haired, androgynous creature with an Anton LaVey looking character, and you will see how disturbing these people truly are. Let's go there and look. It's just kind of like cute and funny when it's these creature looking sluggards. I'm gonna keep using that. Where's their Twitter? There's always some crazy thing on Twitter. What is this?
I mean that espresso.
Okay, thank you for saying that, little kid. This was the point another point of the slide I wanted to make, and I completely forgot. So this kid brought it up. Is another way they go against your human nature and everything is with this whole agenda going on right here. What these kids are talking about, I'll play it because I don't want the music to play. You can read it or whatever. But this whole agenda right here, it's all based on like you are brave, and it's all about like bravery. And I mean, all it is like you're doing some, you're just being a pervert or whatever, or you want to just mutilate your body or something. And then these people come out and they say, oh man, you are so brave. That's the only thing you can say. If you don't say that, then you're the bigot. You're not the active participant in it. You're the sideline sport of the right if you don't say that. So, excuse me. When they get you to say that you're brave, you didn't do anything. And that's another thing against your human nature, is like to praise someone or give them these accolades that they're not deserving of. And the one guy I wanted to talk about is, some of you people probably don't know this, some of you probably do, but do you guys remember that pitcher, Jim Abbott? And this is where we got to the more I wanted to get into on this is the like. I went to the Target, and that was in the video game section, and they had this like. They have a character now in Fortnite that has that skin condition where it looks like someone just splattered all over your face. You know what I'm talking about? The vitiligo or whatever. And this is another thing now that's celebrated in like the, what do you call it? What do they call that when it's like the who has more disabilities, the disabled Olympics or something like that? And like this person, people are born like this with this stuff on their skin, and it's like, I'm sure they're completely healthy, right? It just looks really weird. And back in my day, yeah, this person would have been like bullied into oblivion. Or not this person. This is now on Fortnite. I'm saying this is so mainstream. But people that have this nowadays, I'm saying in my day they would have been bullied. And now it's like if you even dared to bully this person, you'd be like the most evil person ever. And now these people are getting told they're brave just for being born like this, even though they never had to overcome anything. And they probably might even have it easier nowadays because they're going to get a free pass and. You know what I mean? But just being told you're good and you're brave just because of how you were born, I think is doing these types of people a disadvantage. When this is what I was gonna say is if you remember from our generation or my generation, there was the pitcher named Jim Abbott. He was like a Major League Baseball player pitcher. Man, hold on. So this guy was literally born with one arm. And they probably told him when he was born, like, hey, probably told his parents, he can do it. He'll be able to do anything when he grows up. And probably just can't be a Major League Baseball pitcher. And he actually he didn't just make it to the major leagues. Did he win? He might have won awards for like the best pitcher and stuff, Cy Young Award. If not, he was one of the like top pitchers. So he would put his glove on his stump right here. Probably can't play the video. He'd put his glove on his stump, pitch the ball, and immediately switch the glove into this hand. So in case, a batter hit it right back at him, line drive, he could catch it with the other hand. So this guy, to me, this is like a bravery and overcoming like a slight handicap here. Yeah, it would suck to lose your arm, but this guy went all the way to, something they probably said he could never do. And it's probably back in his time, he probably did get bullied for, the kids probably said, hey, you'll never be able to do this. Look at you, you're a freak and stuff like that. And that probably drove him to do that. Where nowadays, just because you're born like this, it's going to be, you're going to think you're special and have like a Marvel superhero. You have some kind of special superpower or something. Oh, man. And now it's celebrated in the disabled Olympics or what is the word for that? What, you guys know what I'm trying to say? It's like they tally up who has more like disabilities or whatever. One arm less pants, this freak fielder says. Yeah, that's probably how it was back then. And this person is called Joy. Oppression Olympics. That's what I'm trying to think of. Thank you, Layla. That's what I wanted to put into those slides I was writing and get into that. So I'm glad that kid said that because it totally reminded me. But again, like, oh man, I don't even want to see this. They're bringing look at this little kid here. This lady or man here is just throwing ass. Tiny little kid right next to it. We need to assassinate libs of TikTok. That's how they think, and that's my point, is if they didn't look like how they look, and if they look like this, then I think more people would understand. It's just like satanic values. EBT says I look like that guy. Where is it? Sorry. Texas man arrested after tweet about killing everyone on Supreme Court goes viral. Colorado teacher sent to re-education training for suggesting to teens that trans youth regret transitioning. Well, he's a teacher. Wouldn't he be an expert?
I'm not going to shut up about this. I'm not, because I can't yell at the Republicans. They're not going to change. They are who they are. We're stuck with them. We're not going to change them. You can't shame them. You can't convince them. You can't trick them. You can't fucking outplan them. But I can yell at the Democratic Party. And I can tell them where they can at least make one fucking small change to stop pissing me the fuck off every hour right now. Stop sending me fundraising requests right now. Okay? The Republican Party had a plan for the last 50 years to overturn Roe v. Wade. We had a leak 5 weeks ago telling us that this exact thing was going to happen. And your response after 5 weeks of careful study and planning and thought has been to send us nonstop fundraising emails. All right? So let me just read you a quick list. Mark Warmer.
Is this Awaken with JP? Is this him?
From Virginia. He's worth $214.1 million. Don Beyer, he's a Democratic Virginia House member. He's worth $124.9 million. Dean Phillips, he's a Minnesota House member. He
Is the chat getting fired up, man? Is the chat getting, you guys fighting amongst yourselves? I love it. Look at this freak.
So, look what I did all by myself today. Look.
Age slider? What is that? I don't even know what that is.
All by myself. Look. Yeah. So, we were gonna go swimming, but the pool was closed. So we didn't get to go swimming today. But that's okay. We still are gonna have fun. And we're gonna watch Dead End Drive with the boys.
What's an age slider? I've never even heard of that.
I just wanted to come and say hi and show you.
That's what EBT I was just about to say it. Is that Aphrodite? That's what I was gonna say. Looks like Aphrodite. Layla says they role play as children. So the other thing, since I should have went into it before I got into the weird age lady. Trauma holder. Jane trauma holder. Like no one else holds trauma. And her trauma just allows her, instead of processing it, she's just going to force upon a childlike character onto you, and you're forced to accept it. I did download from the DNC website. I thought it was interesting. Was that this was their party platform? They rewrite it, I guess, every couple years, 2 or 4 years. And this was the one from 2020, and I just thought it was interesting when you look at their everything that they outline here. It's all about getting, healthcare, and basically human right is healthcare and all this, eliminate racial, gender inequities and all. It's all about equality and everything like that you'd think it would be. But what I thought was interesting was this. They have this preamble with all this like word salad of what they want to do. And in 2020, they just wrote this here. They wrote, we must, can I make this bigger? Yeah, here we go. We must once again stop another Republican recession from becoming a second Great Depression. President Trump and the Republican Party have rigged the economy in the favor of the wealthiest few and the biggest corporations, and left working families and small businesses out in the colds. Democrats will forge a new social and economic contract with the American people, a contract that creates millions of new jobs and promotes shared prosperity, closes racial gaps in income and wealth, guarantees a right for us to join and form a union, raises wages, and blah, 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 blah. But basically, I thought it was interesting. In 2020, they wrote, they're already blaming Trump right here. Like, hey, there's going to be a Great Depression. Trump did it. Republicans did it. And then the key here, it says Democrats will forge a new social and economic contract with the American people. Not we want to, it says we will. And that goes right back to like how we started this.
Can't afford to pay $4.85 a gallon for months, if not years. This is just not sustainable.
What we heard from the president today was a clear articulation of the stakes. This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm.
Sustainable. What do you say to those families?
So they got the next part of the plan in place, in my opinion. This is just opinion. And, they just need a reason to bring it all down. And like I said, you got the old white man there. Maybe he'll be the guy caught holding the bag, and that'll lead us into the next iteration of the monetary system and of younger leaders and everything like that. That's just my predictions. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the way I see it playing out, or that it possibly could play out. Oh, Truth Hurts said the naughty word. I love you, bro. I love you, Truth Hurts. I just can't get my stream nuked. You feel me? You feel me? I think I went through everything I wanted to get through. Let me just click through my links real quick. I know I had a few other things. Yeah, this one I thought was interesting. It says, we're at the risk of creating a generation of racist and sexist robots. Study shows artificial intelligence quickly becomes bigoted after learning toxic stereotypes on the internet. So this happens all the time when they have these like AI learning bots, and then they always say, oh, it's racist, stuff like that. Or facial recognition is racist. And they try to put all this like race stuff on computers, like computers that are. And then what they'll even like, they'll say that it's like prejudice programmed in from the programmers themselves or something like that. I don't know. This is a story that I just keep seeing. Man, how does Days of Noah go for 5 hours? I haven't even made it in an hour. I feel like I've been going for a long time. To me, I can go a long time if there's another person, if there's a person to kind of go back and forth with or something. But when it's just me, it's tough, man. Is this Paul Heyman? This looks like Paul Heyman. So Biden's talking about canceling the student loan debt. This creature, we did her. Trump wants your guns. What's this? Oh, I looked up that meme you see going around that says, did Nestle say water is not a human right? And he did not say that. That's not true. He did say the one idea is extreme, that all the United Nations type idea that Here's his exact quote, so I'm not putting words in his mouth. If you've ever seen that meme, Nestle says water's not a human right. This is his quote. Water is, of course, the most important raw material we have in the world today. It's a question of whether we should privatize the normal water supply for the population, and there are two opinions on the matter. The one opinion, which I think is extreme, is represented by NGOs who bang on about declaring water a public right. That means that as a human being, you should have a right to water. That's an extreme solution. The other view says that water is a foodstuff like any other, and like any other foodstuff, it should have a market value. Personally, I believe it's better to give a foodstuff a value so we're all aware it has a price, and then that one should take specific measures for the part of the population that has no access to this water, and there are many different possibilities there. So he didn't say, no, water is not a human right. Not true. If you're a Spurg, it sounds like that probably from the beginning, but then you get into the idea if there's no money, like how would you get anyone to do anything, to trade their time for something? DNC, if you go there to the DNC website, you can download that thing that I was reading off of their, what do they call it? The party platform. I guess that's just what it's called, the party platform. See a couple more of these libs of TikTok. I always get a kick out of these. The anti-racist baby. Oh man. See, it's not enough to not, you can't just not be racist. That's not enough. You have to be anti-racist. You have to be an active participant. Halifax is putting in a bank, putting pronouns on there.
Why are there so many?
Remember it used to be like flash mobs, they'd like dance at the mall or something. Now this is like the new flash mob. Oh my god, what is this?
Dad, what is wrong with you? What the fuck? What are you doing?
Oh man, too much, man. Sexologist says it's good to teach 4-year-old toddlers how to safely explore their vaginas. Come on now. This is what I'm talking about. Put Anton LaVey saying this.
Thanks for trusting me with this. So I am Dr. Lex. I teach shame-free sex ed, and I'm raising sex-positive kids, and I'm trying to help you do so too. When we're talking about 4-year-olds exploring their bodies, I'm glad you're able to notice. I'm glad you're able to say, like, this is what's going on.
Evac threw down the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. I got all the animations for any members sign up. If you get a subscription or like a super chat, I finally figured out how to do that. It was actually very easy. I just didn't know what I was doing before.
And you're doing a great job as a parent. You're figuring out what's safest for your 4-year-old. So let's talk about the function of the orifices that they're exploring, right? If it's the anus, we have to be super careful with that. Most adults.
Okay, I can't even listen to this. This lady's talking about 4-year-olds and anuses. She's going to talk to a 4-year-old about an anus. Wow. And worse than that, to just put it on the internet like it's completely normal. Like, yeah, I'm just going to talk about this with my face and my name and everything out there. This doctor explains how to teach 8-year-olds to bait. I don't even want to hear it, man. Oh, yeah, he's not a Supreme Court judge anymore because he's putting out rulings they don't like. So now this new Katami Jackson, she's going to be the first black judge. Oh, man, what is this one? I can't play it because of the music.
Allies and accomplices ask, how can they support black and allies and a lot of white allies and accomplices ask, how can they support black and indigenous people of color? And sometimes I really don't know what to say, but here's one easy way. Just don't have babies.
At this point, I am pretty much full-time teaching high school Spanish and a little bit of full-face drag. My admin's actually very okay with me wearing heels. I'm coming to school in drag sometimes. I used to put on makeup, but now it's too early in the morning, so that's not happening anymore. But like, yeah, they're pretty cool with it.
Yeah, and also today I noticed you posted someone.
Too much, man. There's only so much of that I can take. You know, bring your kids to Pride, just innocent family celebrations, it says. All right, man. I got through all the stuff I'm going to get through. I'm going to just be getting triggered on this. Leave a comment. Share it. EBT, you want to go live later? It's the first of the month. EBT's hitting the bills. See, EBT should go on every first of the month. Then you know when to expect them. But hopefully I'll be live with EBT soon. We got plenty to talk about. Yeah. I appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate your time. And peace out.